The doors swing open, and I step into the grand ballroom, heels clicking against polished marble. Crystal chandeliers dangle above, casting golden reflections over silk-draped tables. Polished silverware gleams under dimmed lights, and champagne flutes clink in delicate toasts. Wealth screams from every corner, loud and unapologetic. My sleek black gown hugs my frame, a second skin, every curve a weapon. Hair swept into an elegant updo, I'm not the girl they remember. I'm Eleanor Davis, 34, and tonight, I'm a storm walking into their perfect little world. The air shifts as I move forward. Heads turn, some curious, some hostile, all dripping with the arrogance of money. I let my gaze sweep the room, slow, deliberate, tasting the tension. 16 years ago, they threw me out like trash, a stain they scrubbed from their pristine lives. My mother, Patricia, thought I'd fade into nothing. My father, Richard, assumed I'd break. My sister Lauren laughed as the door slammed shut. They thought I'd vanish, a ghost erased from their story. But here I am, uninvited, untouchable, and they don't know what I've built. They don't know I'm about to burn their world down. I spot them near the center, a tableau of privilege. Patricia stands rigid, her manicured nails clutching a champagne glass, cold as ever. Richard pretends to laugh at some guest's joke, but his jaw twitches. He sees me, even if he won't admit it. And Lauren, the golden child, glows in her designer gown, arm looped through her fiancé marks. She's the bride, the star, the one they always chose. Good. Let her shine. It'll make the fall so much sweeter. The murmurs start, a ripple through the crowd. Someone whispers my name, Eleanor Davis, like it's a curse. Patricia's head snaps up, her eyes locking onto me, and the contempt is instant, unmistakable. What is that useless girl doing here? She's loud enough to carry. Lauren crosses her arms, lips curling into a smirk. That same smug twist I've hated since we were kids. You're not on the guest list, she says, voice sharp, dripping with disdain. The guests lean in, sensing blood, their polished masks slipping just enough to reveal the hunger for scandal. Mark, though, he's different. He steps forward, brow furrowed, then stops dead. His eyes widen, his face pales, and his voice cracks, broken. Wait! This woman is... He doesn't finish. He can't. I smile, slow and deliberate, letting the silence stretch. The room holds its breath, and I feel it. The power, the weight of their ignorance. They don't know who I am now. They don't know what's coming. And that makes this moment delicious. The memory hits like a fist, sharp and cold. I'm 18 again, standing on their doorstep, breath fogging in the night air. The chill seeps into my bones, every exhale a jagged ache. My fingers are numb, clutching a duffel with everything I own. $17.28 in my pocket, not even enough for a bus ticket. Above me, the house looms, warm light spilling from the windows, but the door is shut, locked tight. Richard stands in the frame, arms crossed, his face unreadable, a wall of indifference. Patricia doesn't even look at me. She's inside, her voice cutting through the wood like a blade. A waste of time, a waste of money, she says, each word a nail in the coffin of my existence. We've done enough for you. Lauren's there too, leaning against the banister, smirking like it's a game she's already won. Bye, Eleanor, she mouths, silent, gleeful. Then the door slams, the sound echoing in my skull, final. I don't move, not at first. My breath hangs in the air, visible, fragile. I wait. For what? For them to change their minds? For a crack in their armor? Nothing comes, just the cold, the dark, and the echo of their last command. Figure it out! My father's voice, clipped, dismissive. Figure it out. They didn't just abandon me that night. They erased me, wiped me from their perfect picture like I'd never existed. I turn away, the gravel crunching under my sneakers, each step heavier than the last. The street stretches ahead, empty, endless. No money, no safety net, just the clothes on my back and their words ringing in my ears. I'm alone, truly alone, and the ache isn't just the cold. It's the severing, the realization that I'm nothing to them. But even then, shivering in the dark, I feel it. A spark, buried deep. They think I'm broken. They're wrong. That night, I don't know how, but I swear it. I'll figure it out. And one day, I'll make them pay. Back in the ballroom, the golden light feels sharper now, like it's cutting through their lies. Mark's still frozen, his unfinished question hanging in the air. This woman is... I tilt my head, meeting his wide eyes, and murmur, "Do you really not know anything?" My voice is soft, deliberate, a blade wrapped in silk. His throat bobs as he swallows hard, and I see it, doubt flickering behind his polished exterior. Lauren steps forward, her smirk faltering just for a second before she recovers. "You're not supposed to be here," she snaps, loud enough to draw every eye in the room. Her tone's a whip, meant to sting, to remind me of my place. The guests lean closer, champagne forgotten, their whispers buzzing like flies. They smell blood, and I'm the one holding the knife. I don't flinch. I don't cower. I smile, letting it spread slow and dangerous. "That's funny," I say, tilting my head, because I distinctly remember receiving an invitation. It's a lie, but it lands like a punch. Lauren's nostrils flare and Patricia shifts, her champagne glass trembling slightly. Richard's still pretending I'm invisible, but his jaw's tight, betraying him. Mark's staring at me now, confusion twisting into something heavier. Recognition, maybe fear. "Eleanor?" he says, barely a whisper, like he's testing the name. I step closer, heels clicking sharp against the marble, closing the distance. "Do you really not know anything?" I repeat, softer this time, watching his panic bloom. There's a beat of silence, then another, and the wedding, perfect, pristine, starts to crack at the seams. The crowd's hooked now, their murmurs rising, a tide of scandal lapping at the edges of the room. They expect me to beg, to grovel for their acceptance like the girl they threw away. They don't see it yet. The woman I've become, sharpened by years, patient as a predator. Lauren's glare burns, Patricia's contempt simmers, but I stand tall, untouchable. This isn't their story anymore. It's mine, and I'm just getting started. The ballroom hums with tension, a live wire ready to snap. Lauren's words still hang in the air, her smug, "You're not supposed to be here," lingering like a challenge. I feel their eyes, Patricia's glare slicing through me, Richard's twitching jaw betraying his feigned calm, Lauren's smirk daring me to break. They think they've won before I've even started, but they're wrong. I'm not alone anymore, and that's the first crack in their armor. A familiar warmth brushes my side. James steps forward, my husband, his tailored navy suit sharp against the golden haze of the room. His hand rests on the small of my back, subtle but solid, a claim they can't ignore. "Is there a problem here?" he asks, his voice polite but firm, cutting through the buzz of whispers. The crowd stills, heads tilting, sensing the shift. Lauren scoffs, rolling her eyes. "Who the hell are you?" she snaps, her tone dripping with condescension, as if he's some stray I dragged in, off the street. James doesn't blink. "Eleanor's husband," he says, calm, unyielding. The words drop like a guillotine, severing their smug certainty. Silence crashes over the room, heavy, suffocating. Lauren's fingers twitch, her smirk faltering. Patricia inhales sharply, her champagne glass trembling in her grip. Richard's head jerks up, finally meeting my gaze, and I see it, panic flickering behind his polished mask. They wanted me gone, forgotten, a shadow they could bury. Instead, I came back with armor, with James, my strength, my proof I'm not the helpless girl they discarded. I let the moment stretch, savoring their unease. They're realizing it now, piece by piece. I'm not just here to haunt them. I'm here to dismantle them. James's presence is my first move, a quiet declaration that I've built something they can't touch. Lauren recovers, forcing a laugh, but it's brittle, hollow. Husband, she says, glancing at Mark, who's still pale, silent. What, did you pay him to show up? I smile, slow and sharp. No need, I murmur. He chose me. The air thickens, and I feel the power shift, tilting in my favor. This is just the beginning. The memory pulls me back, sharp as a blade. I'm 18, shivering in the alley behind a diner, the cold biting through my thin jacket. Heat from the kitchen vents curls around me, a lifeline against the night. I've got nowhere to go, no one to call, just $17.28, and the echo of their dismissal ringing in my ears. Figure it out, Richard said, and I'm trying, curled up near the dumpsters, invisible to the world they thrive in. 3 days later, the owner catches me. Rita, sharp-eyed and gruff, doesn't call the cops. She tosses me a broom instead, her voice rough but steady. If you're gonna loiter, make yourself useful. I grab it, hands trembling, and sweep like my life depends on it. Because it does. That's my first break, a crack of light in the dark. By the end of the week, she lets me crash on an old cot in the storage room, the smell of grease and coffee clinging to the air. By the end of the month, she's paying me under the table, a few crumpled bills I hoard like gold. I've got a plan, even then, a spark igniting beneath the weight of their rejection. I don't stay small. I work, I save, I study, every cent, every hour a brick in the wall I'm building. At 22, I earn a scholarship to a business program, clawing my way out of that diner with nothing but grit. At 23, I'm interning at a startup, learning the game, watching the players. By 29, I've got my own company, a medical nutrition brand, lean and fierce, disrupting an industry they'd never understand. It's not luck, it's strategy, years of watching, listening, collecting. While Lauren flaunted her golden child status, while Patricia and Richard basked in their illusion of perfection, I was rising, silent and unstoppable. They never knew, never cared to look. In their minds, I disappeared that night, a burden lifted, a stain scrubbed clean. But I didn't vanish, I sharpened. Every milestone, every dollar was a promise to myself. I'd become something they couldn't ignore, something they'd fear. Standing here now, in this glittering ballroom, I feel the weight of those years, the strength I forged from their neglect. They thought they broke me, but they built me instead. And tonight, they'll see just how high I've climbed. The ballroom pulses with anticipation. The guests whispers a low hum beneath Lauren's fading bravado. She's still clinging to her smirk, but it's fraying, and I'm ready to rip it apart. Seriously, Eleanor, she says, rolling her eyes. You expect us to believe you're some success story? Please. You couldn't even make it through college. Her voice is loud, performative, meant to shame me, to remind everyone I'm the failure they cast out. The crowd leans in, eager for my collapse. I don't flinch. I reach into my clutch, pulling out a single sheet of paper, neatly folded. Is that what they told you? I say, unfolding it with deliberate care, my voice calm, calculated. I hold it up, just enough for the closest guests to glimpse. Lauren's academic record, stark in black and white. You never finished school, Lauren. You flunked out before you could even apply for residency. The room stills, a collective intake of breath. Her nostrils flare, her smirk freezes, then cracks, just for a fraction of a second before she recovers. That's not, she starts, but I cut her off, stepping closer, heels clicking sharp against the marble. Oh, but it is, I say, soft, lethal. 3 years ago you failed. No degree, no career, just lies. Mark turns to her, his brow furrowing, something dangerously close to betrayal in his eyes. "Lauren, what is this?" he asks, voice quiet, controlled. She spins to him, defensive, her face twisting. "It's fake," she hisses, voice rising. "She's lying. You know she's always been jealous of me." I tilt my head, feigning curiosity. "Jealous of what, exactly?" I murmur, watching the blood drain from her face. The guests are riveted now, sensing the shift, the crack in her perfect facade. Mark snatches the paper from my hand, his fingers trembling as he scans it. His jaw tightens, realization settling like a storm. "You told me you were a doctor," he says, low, accusing. Lauren grabs his arm, desperation creeping in. "Mark, she's twisting things. You know how she is." "Do I?" he snaps, pulling away. The air thickens, heavy with her unraveling. I watch, calm, steady, as her crown slips. The golden child exposed, a fraud in a designer gown. She's gaslighted me for years, turned every truth into a weapon against me, but now it's my turn. The truth cuts deeper than her lies ever could, and I'm the one holding the blade. This isn't just a reveal. It's a reckoning, and they're all about to feel it. Lauren's crumbling, but I'm not done. The ballroom's golden glow feels brittle now, like glass about to shatter. Mark's still clutching the paper, his breathing ragged, while Lauren stammers, grasping at her lies. I shift my gaze to Patricia and Richard, their faces a gallery of unease. Her cold scrutiny searching for flaws, his forced calm cracking at the edges. They think they're safe, untouchable, behind their wealth and status. They're wrong. I step forward, voice low, steady. "If we're talking about ruined lives," I say, flashing Patricia a sharp smile, "why don't we discuss the financial fraud case building against the Davis family clinic?" Silence slams into the room, complete, utter silence. Patricia's champagne glass tilts, a single drop spilling onto her hand. Richard's head snaps up, his eyes narrowing. "What are you talking about?" he says, quieter now, the arrogance leaching out of him. I arch a brow, mocking disappointment. "Oh, you didn't think I knew?" I shake my head, letting the words sink in. Embezzlement, insurance fraud, falsified patient records, all those little details you thought would stay buried. I lean in, voice dropping so only he can hear. "You should have been more careful, Dad. The IRS knows." His face goes white, a ghost of the man who threw me out. Patricia gasps, a rare break in her composure, her nails digging into her glass. I straighten, turning to the crowd, my tone light, conversational. Funny thing about secrets, they don't stay secret forever. The guests murmur, scandalized, their polished masks slipping. Lauren's still frozen, Mark's betrayal hardening into something colder. But it's Richard who snaps. "This is nonsense," he says, stepping forward, clinging to his authority. "You've got nothing." I chuckle, a real, genuine sound, and pull a sleek black USB drive from my clutch. "Nothing?" I muse, twirling it between my fingers. "Except, I don't know, 16 years worth of evidence." Lauren's breath catches, Patricia stiffens, and Richard's confidence cracks wide open. "Bank statements," I continue, watching their eyes widen. "Emails, legal documents tying your precious clinic to multiple counts of fraud." I lift the drive slightly, letting it catch the light. "Shall I go on?" The shift is palpable, a predator's trap springing shut. They thought they'd won all those years ago, thought I'd disappear without a trace. But I didn't. I watched. I waited, collecting every shred they left behind. I've held this ammunition for years, not out of spite, but because they taught me patience, taught me to sharpen my blades in silence. Now, standing here, I see the panic setting in. Lauren gripping her flute too tight, Patricia shifting uncomfortably, Richard's hands clenching at his sides. They finally know I'm not the girl they threw away. I'm the reckoning they never saw coming, and this is just the beginning of their end. The ballroom's golden light dims, swallowed by the chaos I've unleashed. Lauren's lies are exposed, her academic record a dagger in Mark's trembling hands, but the USB drive in my fingers holds the real fire. Richard's voice still echoes, his desperate, "You've got nothing?" A hollow shield against what's coming. I step forward, twirling the drive, its sleek black surface glinting like a promise. The crowd watches, breathless, as the tension coils tighter, a spring about to snap. "Go ahead, I say yo. Rinonokai sing adakai Mark." My voice cool, steady. "Plug it in, see for yourself." He hesitates, his eyes darting between me and Lauren, who's rigid now, her knuckles white around her champagne flute. He knows, deep down, he already knows, but doubt is a cruel thing, and I'm here to make it undeniable. With a sharp breath, he strides to the DJ booth, yanking the laptop from behind the sound system. Lauren lunges, her voice a shrill plea. "Mark, stop!" she shrieks, clawing at his arm, but it's too late. He jams the drive in, the screen flickering to life. The room holds its breath as he scrolls, his face hardening with every line. Bank statements, emails, proof of the clinic's fraud, Lauren's falsified credentials. His shoulders heave, his hands ball into fists. "You lied to me," he says, cold, final, the words slicing through the air. Lauren flinches, stumbling back. "No, I didn't, She stammers, but he rips away from her touch, his fury boiling over. "You lied to me," he booms, loud enough to freeze the entire ballroom. Guests drop their polite facades, staring openly, scandalized gasps rippling through the crowd. I watch, calm, steady, as Lauren falls apart in real time. Her designer gown can't hide the mascara streaking down her face, her perfect world cracking under the weight of truth. Mark's breathing is ragged, his trust shattering with every scroll. "You're not a doctor," he spits, pure venom in his voice. "You're nothing." He hurls the laptop aside, the crash echoing like a gunshot, and storms toward the exit, leaving her sobbing in his wake. Patricia steps forward, her voice clipped. "Mark, listen." But Richard cuts her off, snarling, "Shut the hell up!" For the first time, the patriarch freezes, his control slipping through his fingers. This isn't chaos. It's precision. 16 years in the making. Their lies are ash now, and I'm the flame, burning steady, relentless. The guests murmur, the air thick with their downfall, but I'm not done. Not yet. I've sprung the trap, and they're caught, writhing in the wreckage of their arrogance. The USB was just the spark. The inferno's still coming. The ballroom erupts, a symphony of whispers and gasps, but I stand still, savoring the wreckage. Mark's gone, his ring glinting on the floor where he hurled it, a discarded relic of Lauren's lies. She's on her knees now, sobbing, her makeup a smeared mask of defeat. Richard's face is ashen, Patricia's rigid, and I feel the weight of their stares, fear, finally, where contempt once lived. I'm not the girl they threw out anymore, and they know it. I turn to the crowd, my gaze landing on a well-dressed older man near the back. Dr. Harrison, the hospital director where Lauren claimed she worked. "Doctor! Harrison!" I call out, casual, deliberate. He stiffens, his polished demeanor cracking as eyes swivel to him. "You might be interested to know," I continue, voice light, "that one of your so-called medical professionals is a high school dropout with no qualifications." Murmurs spread like wildfire, guests connecting the dots. Dr. Harrison's face reddens, his glare cutting to Richard. "You told me she had her degree," he snaps, his voice tight with betrayal. Richard stammers, sweat beading on his brow. "We can fix this. It's not—" But I interrupt, stepping closer. "Not fraud? Not a felony?" I say, arching a brow. He opens his mouth, desperate now, and shouts, "She's not my daughter." The room falls silent, a stunned pause. Even I'm caught off guard. Then I smile, slow and sharp. "That's an interesting statement," I say, considering you've been using my identity for tax fraud for the past decade. Dead silence. Richard blanches, Patricia's composure shatters, and I drop the final bomb. That's right, I add, my tone smooth. I checked my identity recently. Someone's been filing fraudulent tax returns, laundering money through the clinic, using my social security number. Dr. Harrison snaps his fingers at his assistant. Call the legal department, now, he growls, his career teetering on the edge. Richard tries to speak, but Dr. Harrison cuts him off. Your career is over, he says, final, damning. Security moves in, the crowd buzzing with chaos, but I stand firm, watching their world collapse. Lauren wails, Patricia's silent, and Richard's a shell of the man he was. They thought they'd won 16 years ago, but now they're nothing, exposed, broken, mine to destroy. This is justice, and I've never felt stronger. The ballroom dissolves into chaos, security weaving through the crowd, guests inching away from the Davis family like frauds contagious. Lauren's still on the floor, her designer gown crumpled, her sobs a pitiful soundtrack to their ruin. Richard tries to bark orders, but his voice is lost in the din, and Patricia stands frozen, her cold mask shattered. I should walk away, should be satisfied, but I linger, drinking in the sight. For years I dreamed of this, of standing tall as their world burned. Lauren looks up, eyes wide, desperate. Eleanor, please, she begs, her voice trembling, reaching for me. I let her plea hang, savoring the reversal. She, the golden child, begging me. Then I tilt my head, voice cool, cutting. Please? I echo. I don't remember you saying that when you stole everything from me, when you smirked as they threw me out. Tears slip down her cheeks, but I don't waver. You didn't care, I finish, sharp, final. And neither do I. Richard snaps out of his shock, his face twisted with rage. You think you're better than us now? He hisses, clinging to his ego like a lifeline. I laugh, a real, freeing sound, and meet his gaze dead on. I don't have to think it, I say, grinning. I know it. His jaw tightens, but he's got nothing left. Security closes in, Doctor. Harrison's already on the phone with the IRS, and the guests turn away, abandoning the sinking ship. I turn my back, stepping over Mark's discarded ring, its glint a footnote in their ruin. James waits by the doors, his dark eyes steady, his fingers brushing mine, a quiet anchor. We step outside, the night crisp, the city humming beyond their wreckage. He glances at me, brow raised. So, he drawls. Cake? I blink, then laugh, deep and uninhibited. Yes, I say, still grinning. Let's get some cake. Tonight's not about them, it's about me, and I'm finally, completely free.